I think this is a huge event in the history of the West and particularly the English-speaking world. What we saw today is really evidence of the sad tale of what has happened to modern Great Britain and how one man has been able to capture the political system, the media, and the cops of a great nation over a generation or two. It's absolutely appalling. And the one thing I think that the Earl is right about is certainly that people are now on to what this has been about, which is a semi-criminal press at the bottom, the sewer level of journalism, as opposed to very decent institutions in the British press as in the American press. But we're now talking about the sewer, and the terrible thing about this is that the British public has lapped it up, just as much of the American public has lapped up this kind of tabloid journalism, though not perhaps as extreme, as other journalists have stood by and said, oh, this is perfectly fine. We understand it. We'll wink at it. We'll laugh at it. It's kind of funny. And then you realize that this is a terrible business and a whole country has been polluted by the people that we saw up there today.
Do you think, Carl, I mean, it's been called on Twitter as on Hackgate with a nod towards Watergate. I mean, do you think it's a big moment like that, a moment really of change?
Well, for almost 40 years that I have winced every time the Murdoch press particularly has appended a gate to something else. And then the other day in Newsweek magazine and for the Daily Beast, I wrote a piece with a headline on it saying Murdoch's Watergate ? And there are many similarities
such as
between what happened. Well, first of all, it is about the corruption of an institution, just as Nixon corrupted his White House, his administration. Murdoch has corrupted the press under his watch, the low end of his empire. And now we're looking for a smoking gun, just as we were in Watergate. We don't need a smoking gun to know what kind of aura existed at News of the World and other publications.
Right.
And also, I think there is something that this is not just about Murdoch's papers, because as Murdoch went deeper into the gutter in terms of the lowest descending common denominator in journalism, with his publications, others followed suit, just as they did in this country when the New York Post started to go down.
Let me put it to Will Self. I mean, do you see this as a Watergate moment?